to the next installment of What is My Life and My Journey on TRT or Testosterone Replacement Therapy. Today I am going to discuss something that is all too common with those on TRT. However, it is also common in most people's everyday life, and that is acne. So acne is formed by the clogging of a hair follicle by oil that creates a blackhead or the whitehead. So some of you guys are probably pretty interested and looking forward to see some gross, disgusting pimple type pictures. That'll be later in the video. So before we get there, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. Check out my Instagram and Facebook page, TRT Veteran. So TRT is thought to be a big contributing factor to an increase of sebum and oil that contributes to clogging pores, thus causing acne. Whenever I started on TRT and began this whole process, it pretty much instantly took my body back to when I was a teenager. I developed extreme cystic acne, basically anywhere from my waist up, covered my chest and back, my arms, my face, my neck. It got pretty bad. When that all started happening, I was around the age of 13. Started going to dermatologists, and at that point I started on a whole regimen of creams and pills, going through all of that. I started out with several body washes and topical creams to help clean it up and dry the skin out. Different antibiotics was another big thing I tried. And after months of trying all those topical creams, washes, antibiotics, I wound up on Accutane. So I was put on Accutane. I spent my entire time in middle school and high school on the Accutane. Decided to join the Marine Corps, and at that time, due to the regulations and all that stuff, with Accutane, I had to stop that before I could join the Marine Corps. Fast forward a few months, I'm in Marine Corps boot camp. The cysts slowly start coming back. But then once I hit the fleet, I started getting under extremely high stress situations between the training and deployments that my cystic acne was horrible. Full on onset, explosive type acne where I would have blood leaking through my shirts. Anytime I put my plate carrier on, I was in excruciating pain. The stressful environments, the desert, the heat, the sweat, the dirt, all that was a major contributing factor to the cystic acne. After I was in for a couple of years, the corpsman and my platoon sergeant finally realized how bad my cystic acne was and how much it was affecting me while training and while being deployed, so they actually referred me to the dermatologist. I went down to Camp Pendleton to see a dermatologist, and she immediately prescribed me Accutane again. However, again, it's highly monitored, and you have to pay very close attention to blood work. Once out of the Marines, my cystic acne settled down considerably. So I dropped the Accutane and went on with my normal life. I would still have a flare-up here and there, maybe one every few months, something like that. Nothing too crazy. I could tolerate one or two here and there. Once I started the TRT treatment, I began to see a significant uptick in breakouts and continued to get cysts all over my chest, all over my arms, all over my neck, all over my back. It was extremely painful. Now, when I say extremely painful, I mean painful. It was to the point where just walking outside and the wind blowing my shirt against my body caused me excruciating pain. And I had these cysts that were developing so deep under my skin that it would take weeks for them to even become visible. And then once they finally popped up above the surface and you could poke at them and prod them until they popped, then it goes into another cycle of a week or two here and there that was constant bleeding, constant oozing and drainage of that pus and blood from those cysts. So after 4 or 5 months on T, my cysts just were explosive again, extremely painful. I couldn't live my life. I couldn't spend time with the kids, playing or wrestling around with them. So I went to a general practitioner. I had to go through another whole barrage of treatment and which consisted of 4 to 5 different oral antibiotics. I cut out dairy, we changed the bed sheets often, shower daily using different salicylic acid washes and peroxide washes, high dose of vitamin B5, clay mask to pull out toxins, good old sunshine, probiotics, bleach baths, tretinoin creams would help dry them out but not prevent them. Loaded the hot tub up with chlorine to help try to prevent some of this drying it out. No help. He basically gave up and said, go see a dermatologist. So I've been told before I'm a medical anomaly by a couple of doctors now. And I arrived at the same dermatologist in which I was using decades before. Got me on Accutane. She started me out on 40 milligrams a day. However, I had some cyst on my arm that got extremely infected and actually began opening up wider. So I had to get an emergency appointment scheduled. I went in and it was scheduled with another dermatologist. At that time, she bumped my dose to 80 milligrams a day. For those of you who do not know, Accutane is a very highly regulated and monitored prescription. So there's a whole ton of different steps you have to take before you can even get placed on it. Isotretinoin works by decreasing the size of your sebaceous glands. And for some people, it works permanently. However, in a lot of people, you have to hit a certain dose of the isotretinoin in your body before it'll completely shut off the sebaceous glands. And then there's some doctors that will prescribe you for only a certain amount of months. At the end of that treatment cycle, you just come off of it. For most people, Accutane is a last resort. Where my cyst and my acne was so bad, I constantly had cyst draining and leaking, soaking through my shirts. So I always wore an undershirt, and even then I would soak through that with blood or the pus, and then it would soak through my normal outer shirt. So I was switching shirts constantly throughout the day. When we would go to push on one, it was like an episode of Pimple Popper. There's been blood sprayed on mirrors, hit the ceiling a couple times. They have a tendency to explode rather abruptly. To get started on Accutane, you've got to do lab work. You've got to make sure that your liver and other functions are healthy, because Accutane is harsh on your liver. Next, you've got to sign up and become a member of an Ipledge database, which is a national database that only certain dermatologists or certain doctors can prescribe Accutane. However, you are given a member number in which that belongs to you. There's a series of questions you got to answer. It refers to being suicidal, make sure you're not getting pregnant, make sure you don't share your medication, you're not leaving it out where people can reach it. And you have to answer those questions every single month. So we fast forward to you actually picking up your medication. And now that you got it, great, that's the best way to take it. They recommend that you take your Accutane with a fatty meal. The fats help absorb that Accutane better. Generally, when you're first starting out, most doctors or dermatologists are going to have you do lab work. They had me doing it every single month, just like clockwork. Because again, it's a very harsh medication. You got to make sure your labs are in check the entire time. So every couple months, I get my labs done with my testosterone doc, and I just simply take those over with me to my dermatologist appointment. She can review them, make sure everything's good, and prescribe me for my next month. Now, when it comes to the prescription refills, I mentioned those questions. You have to answer those questions every single month or every time that you get that prescription refilled. A big thing is, I got something for you guys. This. A big reason for those questions is this. A ginormous front and back pamphlet that comes with each box of medication, all the side effects. So when I say it's highly regulated and monitored, this is what I mean. Front and back page, my whole torso length of side effects and crap that can go wrong with you while taking it. Now, for me, the biggest thing is dryness. It's very well known to cause dryness, so make sure you always have chapstick. That is my biggest thing that I have wrong with me, is I always have chapped lips. No matter how much water I drink, no matter how much chapstick I use, still feels like I have dry lips. For others, it can dry your skin out. You're going to be more sensitive to the sun, so make sure you're using sunscreen when you go out and you're spending time out in the sun. There's also links to depression while on Accutane, so that's another question that they ask you. Personally, the other main side effect I have is eyesight. So it can change your eyesight. I have noticed, especially at night, my vision is getting horrible. Now, women, you are going to have a little bit harder of a time getting on Accutane. There's a lot more involved with females because Accutane can cause some serious birth defects. Women, generally you have to show proof of 2 forms of contraceptive as well as pee on a stick every month. There are whole Facebook groups devoted to how evil and horrible Accutane is. I would not have a quality of life at all. I would be stuck doing nothing, in severe pain. The first 3 to 4 months I was on Accutane, there was not a whole lot of change in my cyst. It was still to the point where I was in so much pain and I had so many flare-ups that I couldn't exercise, I couldn't lift weights, couldn't really walk, just because the pressure of my shirt would cause me that excruciating pain. So a few months after that, it finally started kicking in. I finally noticed that I wasn't getting cysts near as often, to the point now if I do have one coming in, it generally pops up, comes to the surface, and is gone in a few days. Even though I'm still healing and I still do have one major cyst, I'm at least able to play with the kids. I can still run, I can play, I can wrestle, I can hug my wife, I can hug my kids, I can carry my kids. My overall quality of life has gotten significantly better since. I've been on Accutane for about 10 months now. Hopefully, I'm getting to that point now where we can start winding down that dose a little bit. Now, me being such a medical anomaly that I am, there's various routes that my dermatologist has talked about taking. We don't think I'm ever going to hit that optimal dose inside of me in which I can finally come off of it and my cysts just stop. My dermatologist is going to be taking a little bit different of a route. Where most you hit a certain dosage or a certain milestone in months and you can stop it, you're good for the rest of your life. With me being such a severe case, she's looking at winding down my dose over a series of several months and get to the point where I'm taking it less often. So as I mentioned, I'm taking 80 milligrams a day right now. She's looking at slowly winding that down to the most minimum dose that I need to keep me from getting the cystic acne. Hopefully I get to the point where I can eventually come off of it altogether. I am a rare case. If there's others out there like it, stick with the Accutane. It's not an easy path, but it's better than where I was. And don't let the Accutane scare you away. I know I mentioned a lot of side effects. I know there's a lot of stuff, a lot of hoops you gotta go through, but it's a medication. As long as it is controlled and monitored, you should be alright. Don't just automatically go to a dermatologist and be like, hey, put me on Accutane. Try those other steps. Try those creams, try those washes. And if you are having issues with acne and you're doing a wash, or a wash is working for you, or a cream's working for you, comment down in the comment section below. Let me know what it is. Give some of the other watchers out there some ideas. Maybe they haven't tried a certain cream or wash. Go ahead and throw it in that comment section down below and help some of the other people out. And if you're on Accutane, let me know how many months you've been on it, what dosage you're on, and how your treatment's been going for you thus far. Most people on TRT will not be affected this bad. My wife follows Dr. Dray on YouTube, and she told me that I needed to check out a video of Dr. Dray doing a video on Accutane. Now, I got extremely excited. I was thinking, this rapper is going to give me advice on my skincare during Accutane. Sweet, let's do this. Well, I quickly found out that it's not the rapper. Dr. Dray is spelled D-R-A-Y, but still extremely informative, even though she's not dropping some sick beats. She mentions in her Accutane video, La Roche-Posay. It is a skincare line, doesn't have the harsh chemicals in it. People on Accutane have extremely sensitive skin, so I highly recommend La Roche-Posay creams and lotions and washes because they are designed for sensitive skin. They're designed to be extremely gentle on sensitive skin. So I'll post a link down in the description box below. Please feel free to go check them out and let me know what you think. As always guys, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. Comment what you'd like to see in future videos. If you don't mind giving me a thumbs up as well, that helps my channel. Have a good one guys.